I think the crucial thing to remember is that taking strike action is the absolute last resort. We have been in negotiating with employers, with the government, with politicians for months and months and months trying to make some progress. We can't make progress, so we've got no alternative than take strike action. Teachers are the last group of workers that want to take strike action because it has an adverse impact on schools, on pupils and on parents. So we're very mindful of the impact of the strike action, but we have no alternative. Teachers in Northern Ireland haven't had a pay rise since September 2020. Other parts of the public sector, they might not like the pay rises, but there has been some level of increase. Teachers, there hasn't been, and that's because teachers are being ignored. Now, what happens when teachers are not being paid properly is that the young qualified teachers don't come into the job in Northern Ireland. So schools can't recruit teachers, because if you're getting 24 grand starting salary in Northern Ireland, you can get the boat across to Scotland and get 31,000 for doing exactly the same job. Cross the border from Newry into Dundalk, you get 6 grand of a difference instantly. And that's what's happening to Northern Ireland teachers. We have the best qualified new teachers in these islands. You have to get 4 straight A stars to get into teacher training, and you come out with a very highly sought after teaching qualification, and then you leave Northern Ireland. And what happens then is that schools can't fill vacancies. You send your kids to school, your kid wants to become a vet, they want to do science, they want to do biology, they want to do chemistry. They're being taught by a maths teacher or an English teacher or a retired teacher because schools can't recruit specialist teachers.
So the service isn't 100% across the board.
It's crucial across the whole spectrum. That applies right across teaching, non-teaching. If you can get a job as a classroom assistant in Northern Ireland with a decent pay rise, you can see if you're going to Tesco's, you get paid better. That's the reality. So our education system is being devalued, our education staff are being devalued, and enough is enough. So this strike is the absolute last resort. But for us in the teachers' unions, this is the 3rd time we've been out on strike. We have another 3 strike dates in the calendar, and we'll continue to strike until this is sorted out, because Chris Heaton-Harris, the Prime Minister, and most of the politicians in Northern Ireland have made it absolutely clear. The argument has been conceded. They know public sector pay needs to be sorted out. They have said the money is there. There's just no political will to spend it. And we have to keep the pressure up. We have to keep targeting the politicians, the Secretary of State, that this action will continue until public sector pay is resolved.
And Alastair, financial distribution then across the board, obviously, not to use that word again, but financial distribution obviously has to be, it's not about tomorrow or yesterday, it's about today. It's about getting it sorted as soon as possible. And obviously Stormont's a lot to do with it too. Heaton-Harris won't release the money until obviously we have the Democratic Unionist Party back in government, which doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon.
It's not happening anytime soon, but even all of the employers, all of the public sector bodies, all of the leaders of the employers wrote to the Secretary of State saying, the money that you've said is available for public sector pay, decouple it away from the political settlement of getting Stormont up and running. Put the money into people's pockets now. They deserve it.
I think that makes sense, but doesn't it?
It does make sense to most right-thinking people, and I think that's why it is so frustrating. When this could be sorted out, this strike didn't need to take place today.
It's almost a game, isn't it? It's almost a game, isn't it?
It is a game, and public sector workers are being used as pawns in that game. We're being used as bargaining chips, and that's completely unacceptable. The employers themselves have come out and said this is immoral, and it is immoral. It's not right, and it has to stop. And our action today is a part of a process that is designed to start targeting that and to stop public sector workers being used and abused, and pay them properly, because this society relies on the public sector. Our schools, our hospitals, the welfare system, it all relies on the public sector workers, and you have to pay them a living wage, you have to pay them a rate for the job, and they're not getting that at the minute, and that has to change.